In the last 3 months, I have implemented 17 different voice agents into service businesses as well as e-com stores. After seeing what works and what doesn't, I can confidently say there are 4 types that create the most value for businesses. I'm going to start with the most straightforward use case and then move into the more advanced ones. Make sure to stay until the end because the 4th agent is where AI phone agents go from helpful to seriously profitable. So with that said, let's start with the first and most straightforward type of AI phone agent, the after-hours voice agent. This is by far the easiest voice agent to set up, but it is still extremely effective at what it does. As the name suggests, this voice agent works after the business closes for the day or on the weekends. It answers incoming calls, handles basic questions, collects caller information, and prevents those calls from going straight to voicemail. And that matters more than a lot of business owners realize. When I call a business and they don't pick up, very rarely am I going to wait around and try again later. Most of the time, I just call the next available option. And for that business, I instantly became a missed lead. Now, I want to put a stat on a screen here because this happens way more often than most people realize. In one 30-day study across 85 businesses, small businesses answered only 37.8% of inbound calls, which means the majority of those calls were never answered live. This agent solves that problem by taking over missed and after-hour calls for the business, making sure that even when nobody is available, there is still something there to answer the phone and capture the opportunity. I want you to listen to a short snippet of one of the voice agents I built.
This is Andrew with Bug Barrier Pest Control. How can I help you?
Hey Andrew, can you send somebody over to my house? I have bedbugs in my bedroom.
All right, don't panic. We deal with bed bugs all the time. I can help you with that. First, are you a new customer or an existing customer?
The voice models are getting better every day, and soon it will be very difficult to tell if you're talking to an AI or a real person. Since this voice agent does not follow one strict step-by-step flow and usually does not need a lot of integrations like the other voice agents on this list, it depends heavily on having a strong prompt, clear instructions, and a good understanding of the most common questions callers ask. On the technical side, the setup is pretty simple. After hours, the business owner can forward their main business number to the voice agent's number. Once the call comes in, the agent uses the business information it has been given to answer basic questions, and if needed, it can collect the caller's name, phone number, email, and the reason they called. Then the next morning, an automation can send the business owner a summary of every call the agent handled the day before, along with the call recordings and the caller's contact information, so they can quickly follow up with anyone who was interested. Technically, almost any business can use this kind of voice agent, but the businesses that benefit the most are usually service-based businesses that get calls after hours, but don't necessarily need to book people directly on the first call. 3 good examples would be pest control, roofing, and moving companies, businesses where people often call for information first and then decide whether to move forward. So this is a great first step into AI phone agents because it is simple to implement, solves a real missed call problem, and does not require a lot of technical complexity. Once you understand this one, the next step is using voice agents not to just catch missed calls, but to actively follow up with leads and drive revenue. And that brings us to agent number 2, the outbound lead follow-up voice agent. Compared to the last agent, this one is outbound. Instead of waiting for the lead to call you, this agent automatically reaches out after a specific event happens. A lot of service businesses have a speed to lead problem. Someone submits a form, fills out a contact page, or becomes a lead in the CRM, but the business does not follow up fast enough. By the time they respond, the lead may already be called or talking to a competitor. And this matters a lot more than most people realize. According to Lead Connect, 78% of customers buy from the company that responds to their inquiry first. People are busy and they forget quickly. If someone shows interest and you do not follow up while that intent is still fresh, the odds of converting them go down. Here's the basic flow of how this voice agent works. Once triggered by a specific event, the webhook receives contact information. The voice agent makes the call as fast as 30 seconds after the submission. After that, the voice agent does all the work. It qualifies the lead, answers basic questions, and helps move them to the next step. You might say, but I already have a CRM in place. Why do I need this voice agent? Even if you already have a CRM and a follow-up system in place, staying on top of every lead is still hard. If you're a business owner and you're thinking about adding a voice agent to your business, you can book a call with our team using the first link in the description. We take the time to understand your business. We then build the voice agent around your processes, test and deploy it, and continue refining it based on live call data. Now back to the video. A lot of service businesses are running ads nowadays, and their CTA is a form submission or some sort of contact collection. They are already paying $60 to $70 per lead, so slow follow-up not only means that the lead might be lost, but this also creates wasted ad spend. That is what makes this agent so powerful. It solves two problems at the same time. The businesses that benefit the most from this are service businesses that rely heavily on inbound leads. For example, home service businesses, med spas, repair companies, and contractors. Instead of just covering missed calls like the first agent, this one actively reaches out and helps convert leads faster. The first two agents are mostly about lead capture and follow-up. The next one gets more advanced because now the agent needs to connect to business data and provide actual customer support. That brings us to the third agent, e-commerce customer support voice agent. This is an inbound voice agent for e-commerce stores that answers customers' questions, helps with product information, and checks on orders. This voice agent has a more complex build-out, connecting 4 to 5 N8N workflows to the voice agent, including daily order and product sync, on-call order and product lookup, CRM syncing, and notifications. Let me explain how this works in detail using one of my clients, a luxury watch retailer. The store is built on Shopify and has more than 5,000 products. The problem that the business owner wanted to solve was after-hours calls. He would spend more than an hour each morning checking voicemail and chasing down those leads. So we solved this by implementing a voice agent and connecting it to the Shopify store. Since the store has more than 5,000 products, many of them were extremely similar. We created an N8N workflow that allowed people to find a product based on the model number as well as the product name and price. For the orders, we were able to create a workflow that allowed people to find their order by saying their order number, and we only gave out the information if the name they said matched to the one on the order. This system worked perfectly with about 3-second lookup time of any product or order. It was very accurate since we used fuzzy matching and ranking techniques in our N8N workflows. Without this system in place, those calls would have turned into voicemail, missed opportunities, and extra follow-up work later. The strength of this voice agent is that it can integrate with most top e-commerce platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, and any other platform that has an API. This brings us to what is probably the most valuable agent use case for a lot of service businesses, since it's tied directly to the revenue, the appointment booking voice agent. Like I said in the beginning of the video, in my opinion, this is one of the most powerful voice agent types, and by powerful, I mean closest tied to revenue of the business, since each missed call is a possible missed appointment, which in turn is lost revenue. This is an inbound voice agent that does everything like the other voice agents, plus the appointment booking integration. Compared to other voice agents, this one tends to have the most positive customer-facing experience because callers usually care more about getting the appointment booked than whether the voice sounds perfectly human. The other voice agents do not have a clear step-by-step flow of the call. The flow for this voice agent is usually the same every time. The caller asks a few service-related questions, the agent checks availability, collects information, and books the appointment using an API-connected calendar. Since a lot of calendars have an API connection, It pairs well with most of the appointment booking businesses like barbershops, spas, and even medical related businesses. So those are the 4 AI phone agents that I think create the most value for businesses. If you are a business owner and you're thinking about adding a voice agent to your business, you can book a call with our team using the first link in the description. I'll take a look at your business and help you figure out whether it actually makes sense. See you in the next one.